How would you describe yourself as a film editor, and what techniques and styles do you deploy?
So in terms of how I describe myself as an editor, I would more say I feel like a kid that's playing around with very expensive toys. I kind of don't know. I'm still working around with it. I'm not like too familiar, but it's really fun. I really do enjoy working and editing. In terms of style, I'm still working on that. I'm not sure what I'm at right now, but I do like just in general slow paced. Just anything that revolves around like keeping like space, like headroom. I really enjoy editing work around that.
Okay. What editing program do you have the most experience with?
In terms of most experience, I would say Adobe Premiere, but I do kind of also use Final Cut Pro X.
What aspect of editing do you find to be the easiest, and what aspect do you find to be the most challenging?
So in terms of the easiest aspect of editing, I would say, you're kind of indirectly like just responsible for making all the pieces for the film anyway. So it's kind of fun being able to work around situations like, say, if there's a shot that isn't like properly lit, or like maybe something wasn't going on right, you could always like look through whatever else is in the footage and figuring out how to properly fix it. So problem solving is probably like the easiest aspect I like. And the other question was the hardest?
The most challenging.
Most challenging. Ooh, that's a hard one. In terms of the most challenging for editing, I would say, well, usually when it comes to footage in general, it's always nice to have more because you have a lot more space to work around with things. But at the same time, it kind of can get overbearing, especially when, say, if you're going like maybe an hour in and you think you wanted to go one way, but then as like you go through, you start to realize it's not as great as it used to, so then you kind of change it up, and then it kind of gets all butchered at the end. So I guess that would be a little bit harder, is just overall footage. Like, yeah.
When it comes to editing, what is the most important aspect that you need to prioritize to be able to create the best edit?
So I think this is just with film in general, but it's being able to be a storyteller, or be able to tell a story, or if you're doing an advertisement, being able to sell the product and explain what the product is. Or in a film, if there's like an overlying message that you're trying to send, make sure the audience knows what that message is. And try not to be too like on the nose with it, but be enough just so people can get it and overall get that message sent.
Okay, I'll be doing question 5. Out of all the editing programs you have learned, which one do you prefer to edit on? You mentioned Final Cut 10 and Adobe Premiere.
So if Prize wasn't an issue, I'm completely fine with Final Cut. But Adobe is pretty nice to use.
So it has more bells and whistles?
Yeah, but just the price is a bit much.
Yeah, no, Adobe Street is tough. Okay, what has been your biggest professional disappointment?
Professional disappointment?
If at
yeah,
all. Or let's say disappointment in your work thus far.
I mean, I can't really think of a specific one, but I know in general, usually anytime if like, there's like times when you're editing a lot, if you have like a really long time of just no breaks, like say like maybe a 3-hour, 4-hour session of editing, usually it's always disappointing afterwards when you finish it, you think everything's good, but then either like the audio quality in your headphones weren't great, or just you were kind of not feeling it, and you look back and it's just, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is terrible, why did I do that, what was I thinking there? It's always second guessing, usually is kind of an issue. But then, no, yeah, I would say that is sometimes there's always things you can fix.
Yeah, I empathize with you.
Yeah.
I was editing all weekend, so. Are you prepared for this interview?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Not really, yeah.
Well, you seem very much at ease. Yeah. And do you have any questions for me or for us?
Not anything in particular, other than the fact is...
do you want to know how many hours you're going to have to work a day or anything?
Oh, I'm actually kind of curious about that. How long would I have to
probably 14 hours a day on this.
Oh, that's manageable.
Yeah?
That's easy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So how would you describe yourself as a film editor, and what techniques and styles do you deploy?
As a film editor, what's the question? I'm sorry.
No, so how would you describe yourself as like a film editor? Like,
I'm pretty proficient in some aspects, like actual editing, but color grading, stuff like that, I need some work on. And then my style, I don't really have one like you said. I'm working on that too.
Okay. What editing program do you have the most experience with?
I have experience with pretty much all of them, like Avid, DaVinci, a little bit of DaVinci and Avid, but mostly Premiere and Final Cut Pro. I started learning on Final Cut, but I know Premiere as well. Pretty good.
That's good. What aspect of editing do you find to be the easiest, and what aspect do you find the most challenging?
Like I said, the easiest is probably putting it together, because if you have a lot of clips, it means it's easier because you can choose from a lot of different places or like from points of
You
view.
have a lot to work with.
Yeah, but if you don't, then that's probably challenging also. But I said, I need to work on color grading and coloring and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it's probably challenging too.
That's good. Okay. When it comes to editing, what is the most important aspect that you need to prioritize to be able to create the best edit?
Probably the point of view, like the message.
Okay. Out of the editing programs that you are familiar with, which one do you prefer to edit with?
I like both Final Cut and Premiere, but I like Premiere more. Just 'cause it's more open, can do more with it. Final Cut's more prosumer, but Premiere's more professional, I think.
Mm-hmm. Very good point. Have you had any disappointments in terms of editing work thus far?
Well, not much editing, but I mean, like, I just had a job opportunity, but it turned out to be a scam.
Oh. You have to be wary of that. That's
Yeah.
true. And are you prepared for this interview?
Not really.
All right. Well, at least you're being spontaneous and sincere with us. Do you have any questions for me?
2 questions. Did I get the job? And how much money does an editor make probably, or what's the charging
The
rate?
range is different. Starting off, it can be anywhere from $20 an hour to $60 an hour, and it can go all the way up to 6 figures if you're in the industry.
Oh, wow.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.